So, let's get into this movie.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, okay. The Halloween Tree, as we said in the beginning, is a 1993 feature-length animated television movie based off of Ray Bradbury's children's book, which I didn't know he did that, but he did. He wrote some kids' books, and one of them was called The Halloween Tree.
I don't think I've ever actually read any of Bradbury's work, but I've always heard the name.
I mean,
you ever read Fahrenheit 451?
451.
No, I know of it. I know a lot of. I don't think my high school made me read as much as everybody else's did.
I always feel the same thing.
I'm aware of all these texts.
He wrote Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yep, I know. I probably know all as great as
See, I've read
and a bunch of short stories.
I've read Fahrenheit. I don't remember anything other than like all the burning that happens and the cars go really fast, so the billboards are like a mile long. I
remember being very confused by at the fire station. There was some beast he was describing, and I had no idea if it was a machine. I guess it was a machine, but I was like, what is this thing he keeps talking about? That's all I remember.
Yeah. But like, I know what you're talking about, Tooch, because like everybody's like, oh, everybody's read Catcher in the Rye. I never had to read that.
Yeah, that was one I did have to read. I guess like there's too many. Yeah. There's too many high school canon books to fit in one 4-year experience.
There's too many essential books. There's like all these books like, oh, everybody's got to read this in high school, but there's not enough time because our school system's broken.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, like, you can't read that many books and still do other school stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you would actually like Catcher in the Rye, Nikki, if you like BoJack so much. If you like self-destructive, shitty people.
But I feel like at this point he's probably, like, that's, like, baby's first, like, Catcher in the Rye is, like,
yeah,
Catcher in the Rye is,
like, 101. It's still pretty raw for me.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think it still holds up.
It's sort of like, I'm really sad. I'm gonna go look at sad stuff.
Well, it's the language that
I'm
really
already pretty sad.
Does it. Like, I love how,
I like my sister, and I like my hat. Everyone else can kind of fuck off.
Oh, man.
That's like the big text block quote on the back of the book.
Yeah, so the movie was produced by Hanna-Barbera for Cartoon Network. The book itself was written in 1972. So it was decades in the making, I guess. Not really.
Well, no, he said that when he wrote it, I read on the Wikipedia article, that he also planned at the time to do a thing with Chuck Jones.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's super cool. God,
so, like, with the release of the movie, there was, like, an extended edition version of the book released that has both the screenplay of what we just watched and the old original screenplay that never got made.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think most versions of the book you can find now have both of those screenplays, like, in the back.
I want to read
the book now, too, because it just sounds like a fun book.
Yeah, it's like 160 pages.
Mm-hmm. And he did write the screenplay for the thing that we did watch as well.
Yeah.
And narrated it.
Yeah.
He's got a cool voice.
I was really excited to hear his voice, and it was so cool. Also in this movie of coolness is Leonard Nimoy, who plays the kind of main character, or like the most interesting character, Mr. Moundshroud.
Yeah, giving a very. I mean, to be fair, I honestly haven't seen much of Nimoy's work past Star Trek, so this is a
I'm really
vast difference from Spock.
I'm really just familiar with his natural speaking voice, so I was like, what?
That too.
Yeah,
I've only ever seen him play Spocker himself.
Yeah, I only know him from Star Trek, The Simpsons, and Futurama.
So I was like, wow, this is...
And the song where the
Bilbo
song he sings about Bilbo Baggins.
Of course, but even then, was he really even singing that?
He was doing his.
He was having fun. That's
it was
matters.
It was sing talking.
He was up on a hill with a bunch of hippies. It was a good day.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably a great day
for all of them. Everybody had a good downtown time.
So the movie is an condensed version of the book, which is essentially it's Halloween. All these kids are gonna go out trick-or-treating. In the book, there was 8 kids, and they're all boys. But their one friend, the greatest kid who ever lived, or whatever, I mean, Ray Bradbury had some lovely poetry, but I can't quote that verbatim. Pip was like, didn't show up. And
Wiki has the quote. Some say that on the day he was born, all the soda pop bottles in the world fizz over. Pipkin, who could yell louder, sing better, and eat more popcorn. Pip, the greatest boy.
Unfortunately, he usually did all three of those at the same time.
Pip, the greatest boy who ever lived.
That's such like a... And like, when I heard that, like, on the surface level, you think, like, that sounds like some schlock, but that's exactly what his friends probably thought of him.
Yeah, probably.
And, like, in, like, that context, it's really... I super dug it, because it's so, like... It's so childhood.
Yeah, he really channels
that. Pip's the greatest. He can... Look at all the shit he can eat. He's really loud. Everyone... Like, my parents hate it when he comes over. He's the best.
Pip can fart the alphabet.
So Pip, apparently...
One time we found this thing on the ground, I said, what the fuck is that? He went, I don't know. Motherfucker just straight ate it.
Pip's got 11...
thought he was gonna...
Pip's got 11 toes. He's gonna be the best man at my wedding.
Except I'm not gonna get married because girls are gross.
Except for the one girl.
If only I could marry Pip.
Let's get friend married because I'm too young to know what that is.
And it's 1974.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pip isn't able to go trick-or-treating because he got a serious sudden case of appendicitis.
Because he fucking died.
Because he ate too much popcorn.
Yeah, all those kernels just got stuck in his appendix and got inflamed. That's a real thing that happens.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to keep rolling with it.
So yeah, these kids... In this movie, we've got Jenny, Ralph, Tom, and Wally. They go to his house, they see him get taken away in an ambulance, and they're all like, oh no, we can't go trick-or-treating without Pip, he's the best, he loves Halloween, Blah. But he, like, tells them to just go on. And we're like, oh geez, kid's got appendicitis, that's pretty bad. So, which one? The tall kid. Skeletor.
Tom.
Tom,
definitely Tom. Tom Skelton.
Yeah.
Lucky for me, this is my name. So if I could just kill Pip, I'll be the king of Halloween.
That's literally his logic.
So,
well, I'm the tallest and the boy, and we don't have any people of colored friends, so obviously I'm the next in line. It's just what?
So he's like,
how it works on my dad's job.
He convinces the other kids that Pip must be playing a prank because he's also the king of pranks. Because of course he is. Because there's like, no way, Pip loves Halloween. Blah blah blah. So they're like,
he's just pretending to be dying of appendicitis.
He staged that whole thing with the ambulance and his parents crying. So they start wandering around.
They take a shortcut to the hospital through some haunted-ass murder ravine.
Yeah, and there's more lovely poetry to go along with their ravine. And then they see, like, an apparition of what they think is Pip. And Tom is like, look, it's Pip, everything's cool, let's go. And everybody's like, what? Okay. So they go through the ravine, and there's a spooky, spooky haunted house at the end, of course. Just what you would want to find.
And the one kid's like, I don't want to go in this legit-ass haunted house. And everybody's like, no, Pip just built this house for us.
That old Pip. What a
what's
card.
His real name? Like Joseph Pipsky or something?
Pipkin is the last name. I don't remember what the first name was.
Something like that.
Pipkowski.
Pipkowski.
Pipkin Pikowski.
They try to enter the house, and there's wind and magic, and they get inside the house, and Pip's ghost is there, but then they meet Mr. Moundshroud, who's sort of our leader, who's gonna, like, take these kids on a magical, spirited away journey through the history of Halloween, essentially is what
He's gonna sit these kids down and give them a learn or two about Halloween cultural appropriation.
Yep. So he's like this horrible yellow man who's definitely dressed like a vampire.
Yeah. He doesn't enter the Notre Dame, so I think he might be a vampire.
I think he's
either a vampire or he's some malevolent spirit that Jesus doesn't care much for.
Yeah, he's either a Dracul or a daemon or
some sort of ghoul,
some sort of gombeast.
Illustrations of him from the original book are pretty cool, though.
A frightener.
You know what he looks like?
Starring Michael.
He looks like a jaundiced Tommy Pickles' grandpa.
Oh, no.
Kind of.
Or, no. No, I'm thinking of Hey Arnold's grandpa.
Yeah.
He looks like a jaundiced Hey Arnold's grandpa.
Check out this cool illustration of him from the book.
Okay.
You know, for all you listeners out there who can't...
Just hack our computers.
Just type in the Halloween tree...
Rub your ear really close against the speaker, and the sound waves might ripple into a shape.
Who did these illustrations? I feel like I should credit them.
Somebody with a lot of ink.
Joseph Mugnani.
All right.
It's a really cool book cover too.
It's cool. I mean, and he looks like what he looks up in the movie.
Yeah. So that's cool.
I super dig his kicks.
But yeah, Mr. Moundshroud is like, you guys don't even know do you even know why you're the costumes that you are? And they're like, because they look cool.
Because they were on sale at Kmart. What do you want from
one
us?
kid just
my mom bought this for me.
This one kid just used all his dad's gauze from his medical kit.
And he's like, oh, sure hope nobody needs first aid. It's Halloween. Kids are going to get hit by cars.
And it's the 70s, so, like, no one's wearing anything close to reflective.
And the cars are made out of metal. They all weigh 400,000 pounds.
Yeah. And, like, that glass will shatter into spears. Pip got off easy.
I guess the logic is that first aid is a lost cause. I'm not going to tape on a kid's head with gauze.
Just use toilet paper.
What if it... Okay. Anyway.
Well, what if someone back at his house gets the shit?
Okay, so Pip's ghost or whatever appears, and the kids are like, "Oh, it's Pip, 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 Pip." That's this whole movie. Pip,
like a bunch of stupid chickens.
What's happening? Where are you going? And Pip runs out to the titular Halloween tree, which is this cool spooky tree without any leaves that just has a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns in it. And I guess the jack-o'-lanterns are supposed to symbolize people's souls. It was very confusing. Yeah. I was very confused this whole movie, what the hell was going on.
Well, no, because it's like the pumpkin's house souls, and then at the end of Halloween, all the souls are still jumping ahead to the end of the movie when one of the tree goes away, then all the souls pass on, but they need to go through that. I don't know. They need to go through pumpkin customs. I don't fucking know.
I guess it's Halloween, All Souls night, and
if you die on Halloween, you need to spend a certain period of time as a gourd.
So wait. I'm gonna get this. Purgatory.
Yeah, you get caught in purgatory. It's not fun to say, less fun to be in.
So Mr. Moundshroud's like, "Oh, Pip, that rapscallion, we have an appointment."
We have an appointment for me to...
I need to drag you directly to hell! Get back here!
Okay,
get out of my house!
Let's talk about that. This is Leonard Nimoy basically doing that voice. He's being like a shrill man banshee.
But he's doing that, but with a Leonard Nimoy tinge that no one else but him can do.
It's a very weird voice. I couldn't understand what he was saying a lot of the time.
Halloween!
Well, he always called it All Hallows Eve because he's a fancy man.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I'm sure he also says magics and spells it with a Y.
And a K.
And a K. And fairies.
Fairies, daemons. He gets mad at people who use zombie instead of ghoul.
So Pip steals his pumpkin. The kids are like, "What?" And he
the pumpkin that has Pip's soul in it.
He's trying to get his soul back and do what with it? I'm not
he's trying to
scenario.
Not die all the way.
Yeah, but
what does he have
scenario?
to do? Eat the pumpkin?
They let him go. They let him go. What does he do? He's a ghost. The only thing he can touch is apparently that pumpkin. Well,
that's what Mr. Mounshroud was saying. It's like, why are you running away? Like, this is a terrible fate that you're giving yourself. Either you're going to be lost in eternity just running around with this pumpkin, or you're going to let me take you.
Listen, I'm a little kid, and I'm scared of death.
It's Halloween, and I died of appendicitis, which I guess was more common in the 70s?
I mean, probably. No one knew what that was.
Really?
No one knew what anything was.
This wasn't like the 1800s, dude.
This isn't the Dark Ages. Medicine. That was a different time in the movie. In the 1800s, people would, like, stub their toe and get an infection and die within, like, 25 minutes.
So, Pip, like, disappears into the magic time stream or whatever, and the kids are like, we need to save Pip, we need to save Pip, 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 Pip. So Mr. Mouseshroud is like,
shut up, okay!
Mr. Mouseshroud is like, I'll strike you a deal. If you help me get Pip, I'll take you with me to get Pip. We can rescue Pip, and at the same time, I'm going to educate y'all about what the hell your costumes are about and about Halloween and shit. And they're like, that sounds like fun. So now
get on my death kite made of
in a bizarre scene that only makes sense in a novel/illustration, they summon the power of an abandoned circus barn and all the posters, and they use the posters and turn it into a kite.
The kite's like screaming and biting, and I forgot that scene until just now.
How did you forget that?
I was very tired.
And also, like, instead of like doing the logical thing and hang gliding like under it to like grab onto something under it, the children become the kite's tail and like are whipped around violently through the sky as they are hurled through the time stream.
Yeah,
and then proceed to crash land in Egypt.
Mr. Mounshroud has like wind magic.
And then Mr. Mounshroud just flies. He can just fly.
Yeah, he can just fly.
Fuck you, kids.
And later, doesn't he just fly the kids?
Yep.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
What a dickhead.
They crash it. Well, I can't just make another one. We're in Egypt. What am I what? I'm gonna make it out of sand and rock and papyrus? I hate that font.
We make it out of hieroglyphs, but we're gonna need so many. They're very small. I can't believe you made a font joke on my podcast, you piece of shit. You know how I feel about fonts.
So, Mounshroud is essentially taking them across time and space. In the book, they went to more places, but in the movie, they had to condense it for just the 4 characters, so...
Chop.
So we start off with our nerdy kid, Ralph. He's got glasses. He's a mummy. So we go to ancient Egypt, and we learn about... What's it called?
The Feast of Ghosts.
Feast of Ghosts. And, like, the Book of the Dead and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it's, like, the mummification and whatnot and all that. But, like, the thing that really got me, and I couldn't... Because, like, I don't know how to Google this. I didn't have the patience, but it's, like... I want someone to Snopes the shit out of if, like, ancient Egyptians actually, like... propped up their mummified relative corpses at the dinner table. What?
That doesn't sound correct.
No.
There's no way. Because, like, they buried...
Well, because when they bury them,
they buried those sons of bitches in a fucking maze.
Mummification was expensive.
Yeah, only
so
royalty
not everybody was mummified.
Only fancy boys. Like... Only fancy boys got mummified, and they hit him in the bottom of a big, scary death maze full of, like, spring-loaded darts. Do you think, like, every late September, you draw straws, like, oh, I guess I gotta go into the death oubliette.
Wasn't the whole point that you're not supposed to disturb the body? Like, they need the body to remain intact?
And in the context of the movie, like they just had the sarcophagus in their living room, so like it's just chilling there all year round until you gotta whip him out. It's
Grandpa
like regardless
out.
of the preservation, it's gonna be musty.
Yeah,
it's like it feels like Egyptology by way of the Flintstones.
Yeah, it's a living. It's an afterlife.
I'm dead.
Children's story? I don't.
He mugs at the camera and just says, I'm dead.
The 70s were a strange time. The other thing that like I didn't
time where no one
get is like, what was the lesson that Ralphie learned? Like, I don't understand.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, then what was the lesson any of them
Exactly,
learned
I
other than,
couldn't
like,
figure out
this
what
is
any
why...
of their lessons were.
I couldn't figure out why I watched this fucking movie.
Well, because it's not so much about, like, it's not so much like they were doing something wrong, but they were, like...
Well, yeah, but, like, what were they learning?
They were practicing tradition without the education of knowing where the tradition comes from, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people just go, well, like, it's a fucking tradition, who cares, just shut up and do it. And that's when bad shit happens.
Right.
So, I mean, this is sort of like a children's allegory of that concept, of, like, you gotta know where your shit comes from.
Yeah, that's true. So in each, so we see the formula. They arrive in the magical place, and with some ridiculous vehicle, they encounter some natives, undergo some problem. Pip shows up.
Mountshroud shows up, like, just completely dressed as the natives. It's probably worse than dressing as their cultural traditional backgrounds.
He mummified himself. He, like, got his skin on necrotic. Which I guess isn't that far of a leap for him. He looks like 8 inches.
He looked healthier.
Like,
he was tanner.
Pip shows up. The special child of the section has an interaction with Pip, and they have, like, a moment where it's like, but Pip, you were the best friend I've ever had, because
and then,
blah, blah,
and then Pip was
blah.
like...
And then Pip is like, it's okay.
Pip is like, I've got my own problems. My guts are melting.
And then
my
he
appendix
runs
broke
away.
open and is literally melting my organs.
And then they have to follow him to the next place. So after Egypt, we go to...
Middle Ages.
Celtic world. Celtic world. I know how that's supposed to be said. I fucked it up.
They go celebrate some good old-fashioned Samhain.
Yeah, they celebrate... Yeah, Samhain.
Or Samhain.
Yeah, they go to England to listen to Samhain. The band that Glenn Danzig did in between Misfits and his solo stuff. Who cares?
The Samhain, it's the Celts' New Year. The night of the 31st was not believed to exist in the old year or the new, so spirits who usually took on the form of animals, like black cats, were believed to be able to return. So people would light bonfires and dress up and do Halloween-y thingies.
Can I make fun of the English again?
Absolutely.
Only they would be
any chance you have.
It's like the opposite of the Roman New Year was in
These
March.
aren't the English, Nikki. These are the Celts.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
people
Celts
from that fucking island. It does something to people. Like, again, the Romans, who I'm about to talk to, got there, like, oh, this fucking sucks. I hate everything about this. But, like, the Roman New Year was in March, which makes sense, because it's when spring happens and then the weather stops being horrible forever. And, like, our New Year is stupid because it's in the middle of winter. Like, nothing changes. It still sucks. But, like, these motherfuckers are like, oh, the weather's about to become hellish garbage. Keep in mind, in England, in the island of Great Britain, whatever. And it's like, oh, so this is when we should start, right as everybody's about to die from cold diseases.
Well, yeah, you celebrate that you made through the year.
They didn't make it through the hard part yet. That's what the Romans did. The Romans were like, okay, we made it through the shit. So now let's eat a bunch of Roman meat. I don't know. Drink a bunch of
Roman water?
Yeah, drink a bunch of lead-based wine and get real fucked up. Whereas these guys are like, oh, we're all about... I guess maybe it's like Mardi Gras. It's like...
That cat's my grandma!
Maybe it's like Mardi Gras. It's like, it's about to suck real bad for a couple of months. So let's, I guess, eat all the food we had.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Have one big bash before you might die.
Yeah, but like the thing with the festival is you're gonna eat all the food you had. And you have to hold on to the food in the winter because you can't make any.
Okay, I feel like, okay, maybe I'm but going back to the film, like, because I'm starting to, am I remembering this part wrong? Because this was the witch girl's bit.
Yeah. They went to
but,
Stonehenge.
Like, I feel like she learned the least because they just tried to burn her. Right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, they tried to burn her.
They
did?
No,
not her.
They
didn't try to burn her. They tried to burn the coven.
Yeah, they tried to burn the other witches.
Yeah,
Well, that was the only one that I kind of got, because, like, when Mr. Mountshroud was explaining this whole holiday, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. This fucking Wikipedia paragraph makes more sense to me. And then he starts talking about the witches, and I was like, okay, what about witches? And he's like, the witches are called witches because they have their wits about them, and that's why people fear them and ostracize them.
And that's probably wrong.
And it's like,
well, Well, it was the Dark Ages. People were, like, militantly stupid. And were, like, fundamentally offended by anybody who, like, knew how
questioned anything.
Yeah. Who, like, knew how to do, like, any kind of basic medicine.
Yeah, and, like, any kind of basic sort of natural, common sense survival skill was somehow warped into a sin that you weren't allowed to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, these witches were just, like, I guess making some kind of, like, incense or something. Who cares? And, like,
They had a cauldron and they're making a witchy thing.
These people
They're probably
aren't
just making soup.
Yeah, these people aren't living among rats and shit, so clearly they're sinners. So that was the thing. So the whole idea of, like, witches and witch culture has always come from, like, a persecution of intelligence.
Yeah.
And also, female agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
pretty
the
much.
thing.
And then there was, like, this celebration about the brooms. I don't know. Basically,
That's, like, one thing I was thinking about when I was watching this, because, you know, like in Harry Potter, they all ride brooms. It's just like, oh, it's a witch thing. We'll just put it in there. It wasn't, I don't think, a very well thought out part of that very shaky mythos. But whatever. But, like, the thing is, you know,
It did get an EU explanation, but I'm never getting, you have to pay me to get into that in the middle of this show. But there is a stupid J.K. Rowling explanation.
Alright. But, like, okay, the origin of that symbolism, that iconography of a witch riding a broom, because it's like, she would jill off with that, because it's all about, you know, punishing female agency, including sexual agency. So, like, but, like, if you're a dude on a broom, all of the weight is just on your Bozak.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I assume they would have to, like, pick a side for it to lean
lean over. But, like, if you take a turn too long, it's too sharp, it's just gonna shear it off.
I don't know, magic.
Well, the kids score some cool brooms.
You cast a cup spell.
And they fly to the next place, which is the Notre Dame Cathedral. Before
if I can make
it
fun
was
of the
built.
If I can make fun of the United States for a bit to karmatically balance the last bit, how fucking livid do you think the French are at the University of Notre Dame for pronouncing it so badly?
I mean, I'm assuming.
Because I heard of that school after I watched Hunchback, and I'm like, are these dumb fucks serious?
Yeah, I remember being confused too. I was like, I thought it was dumb.
I thought it was Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Nah, partner, it's Notre Dame. I don't know where that school is.
So they fly there, and I guess in recognition of, you know, Catholic All Souls Night, which is another component of what makes Halloween. I don't know how much of that Egyptian stuff actually influenced modern Halloween, but I do think Samhain and All Souls Night did have a huge thing. I mean, a lot of it was like, when the Catholics came, they were like, stop with that Samhain, that's bad.
Stop having fun.
Do this instead. So they're like, okay, we'll carve pumpkins for Jesus.
Jesus loved pumpkins.
I
thought they
not that they had pumpkins.
Yeah, that's the thing. Pumpkins are a New World vegetable.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of...
I learned that from Arthur. Because there was an episode where the dad wanted to have, like, an authentic Christmas. It's like, so they're eating a bunch of, like, Bethlehem shit. And Arthur's like, I want some fucking pumpkin pie! I didn't have pumpkins, Arthur.
Dad, my plate has really grainy hard bread and, like, an entire fish. Is this dead? Did you kill it?
You didn't, like, scale or anything. I think you just bashed it against a rock like Gollum. Dad!
So, at Notre Dame, we get to Wally, who's like, he's the poor fat kid with the least specific Halloween costume.
And they nixed him from the cover of the VHS release.
Yeah, he's just a monster. Mr. Manshroud just keeps calling him a monster or a beastie or whatever. And here he gets compared to gargoyles on the cathedral.
Because I was actually curious, because they didn't really go into
he
a lot of
does kind of look like... He does have that hunchback thing going on, so maybe...
Yeah, like, they didn't really go into the explanation of gargoyle, so I was like, what actually is a gargoyle? And it was just, like, a cool design for a gutter. They're gutters. They barf the water away so it doesn't dribble all over the building.
They're supposed to, like, keep away bad spirits, like, scare away the bad spirits, because they were scary.
Yeah, that's for the design. But yeah, gargoyle comes from the same root as the word gargle, meaning throat.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
Because when they barfed up the water, they was like...
And they didn't show any of these in the movie, but a lot of them also had, like, big, nasty, milky tits, and that's where this stuff would come from, because French were nasty.
Oh. So,
I want one of
they
those.
build the Notre Dame by, like, magic bricking.
Like in Bastion. It's exactly like Bastion. They just walk and it gets built. And that was probably the most well-animated scene in the movie. The worst animated was that scene where Ralph was, like, being pulled along the catacomb. And it's just like, it looked like there was a paper cutout of Ralph held over the background and they just kind of shaked it. It was like South Park animation.
Yeah!
Oh, man. So, Pip gets stuck as a gargoyle for some reason.
He turns into a gagoog.
Somehow. And then Wally has to save him. And he is gurgling all that shit.
Yeah, so like he was talking like Tooch was. He's just like...
What was it? Gargoyles can only talk when their either water or air passes through their mouth?
Pip, pretend it's popcorn!
They can only talk while they barf.
They free Pip, but he escapes again. And now it's time for Skeletor. Yeah. Tom. And Mexico. And the Day of the Dead. Where we reveal the significance of the Calacas.
Is Calacas the proper word for a sugar skull?
Skeletons.
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, a calaca is just a figure of a skull or skeleton.
Yeah, a skull is like a calavera.
Mexican Day of the Dead Festival.
Yeah. Calaca is a cool word because it's an onomatopoeia of like a skeleton falling down.
Yeah, it's Calacas.
Yeah, it's like a colloquial Mexican for skeleton.
Yeah, it's like that old cartoon, the skeleton dance, but in a word.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so they go to Day of the Dead because I'm sure. Look, skeletons are universally seen as symbols of death, like everywhere. It's not specific to Mexico, but I guess Mexico's the most interesting. So they
have the most fun with it.
They definitely do.
They just made like here, child. Here's a big skull-shaped ball of just eat sugar. Eat it. You'll die. Your appendix will burst. That's what happened to Pip.
You know, they learn about Day of the Dead and how it's basically like, you know, being glad that you're alive. You know, death can't have power over you if you're happy to be alive, and you're like regaining the power of, you're taking the power of death away from it by acknowledging what it is or whatever.
Yeah, you're taking the fear away. We talked about a bit of this when we did Book of Life, because like that's what's cool about you know, Day of the Dead. It's laughing in the face of death is what it is.
Yeah, that's why all those skeleton guys are so happy and silly.
Yeah.
And there's also like reverence for the dead, but it's like, whatever, death, I'm gonna have a fun time now and not worry about you. Fuck.
And then when I die, I get to hang out with my awesome family. So fuck you, death.
My favorite bit in this segment was just like I guess because it was Mr. Moundshroud, so he just magicked up these sugar skulls. But it's like, good luck going to Mexico and finding a sugar skull with Ralph on it. Good fucking luck.
Oh my god! Can we talk about before we get to the climax?
Well, it would be Raphael.
Rafi.
Yeah, you have Rafi, Tomas. We have a cousin named Jenny, but that may just be like a loan name. I don't know if
Jenny.
they have. And who's the other guy? Wallace.
Wally.
I don't know if it's Wallace. It would be spelled with a J-U. It would be Wallace.
Wallace. Before we get to the climax, can we talk about these fucking kids' dialogue?
What aspect?
Wally?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
That's the only thing he says. It's like, he just uses it like Morse code, depending on the intonation.
Like, literally all he said was, every time anything happened.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't?
No.
That's not good.
I'm not paying attention to this dummy.
It's because every time the way that the kid actor said it was all very close to God, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh. Like, he really, I don't know. It was just annoying, and it kept happening over and over again.
Oh my god.
Well, that's why he wasn't. That's why he didn't get on the cover.
Godge. Godge.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Ram.
My gachapon.
So they're still in Mexico.
So after all that,
they're still in Mexico, and Pip. They're like, "Fucking Pip, just stay the fuck still." They find an old tomb. Apparently, they're too late, or something.
To save his soul. And then Tom feels bad because, he wanted to be the leader. And Pip's like, man, all you have to do is ask. That's how cool I am. I'll just relinquish authority to teach you a lesson about how you can't handle my life.
Well, he can't because there's no life anymore. So yeah, Mr. Mountshroud's like, look,
snap.
Kids.
Sick burn on this dead kid.
Mr. Mountshroud's like, look, kids, this was fun and everything, but I have to take your friend's soul. And they're like, what? But you promised. And he's like, I didn't say nothing. I said we would save him from his stupid self. I didn't say that I would let you have him back. He's
and even
dead.
If I did, what are you gonna do? You're like 9.
That was like, I like, and it's such a kid thing, like, that was literally the deal. Like, that was the deal, though. You'd help me catch him, and they were just like, yeah, but we didn't think that far ahead.
we figured everything was gonna work out.
We kind of just thought you'd come to, like, love and cherish us through our madcap adventures and let him go out of the kindness of your heart. And he was just like, brr.
You guys are like the most generic children I've ever met.
I don't remember any of your names.
That's why I had to ask your name when I gave you those sugar skulls.
I had like 100 skulls made just in case.
So, Tom was like, but Pip, he can't die. He's so great, and I love him, and he's my best friend. And so they strike up a deal, and they're like, well, what if we give you something in exchange for Pip's life? And Mr. Mountshroud's like, what could you...
like, what, Alf Pogs? Fuck you, kid.
And all the kids end up giving 1 year of their life, like the tail end year of their life, in order to revive Pip. Now, I don't know if that just meant... Was it the 4 years to bring him back to life? Or is it like 4 years for 4 years of his life? Or
I think it was the first one.
Because in the beginning he was mulling over just a year. And so I think it was literally just like, it's not an even trade whatsoever. I think he just wanted to fuck with these kids. Because in the book, he made them that offer.
Yeah, and in the book there was 8 kids, so there was 8 years. That was twice
He'll
as
at least make it to puberty. He'll at least graduate high school. Maybe he'll touch at least one boob.
Yeah.
I bet this kid could touch... Okay, either he's touching a bunch of boobs, or like he gets to high school and is just fucking striking out like a batter up against Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, because his mouth's full of fucking popcorn.
Yeah, because he purposely bats left-handed because he wants to be cool.
Nothing that makes you cool at 10 makes you cool at 16.
No, but what was weird, at least about, our generation, is that what made us cool at 10 did also make us cool at like 20, by which I mean Pokemon skills.
I was about to say you're talking about Pokemon.
I'm definitely talking about Pokemon, but like at 16, Pokemon was very uncool.
Well, what about right now? This whole show we're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he takes the kids' lives. He teleports them home. Pip's can keep his pumpkin. He wisps away all the other pumpkins into the night. Kids run back to his house. He's alive. He's like, I had this dream, but it wasn't a dream.
Yeah, it's like, I had this dream. It was real though, but like winged. I don't know. Pips. I hate.
Look, man,
he's the worst kid. He's the worst.
I'm on like some crazy appendix drugs right now, like something experimental. They're trying to regrow my appendix, and I feel loopy as hell.
Did you guys chase me with Dracula?
So, everything's great?
Was I in an Abbott and Costello movie? There was, like, Dracula and mummies and shit.
It was a selfless thing for the kids to do.
To give away the least valuable years of their lives.
Well, like, a kid wouldn't even think about that. I don't know.
Yeah, the kid probably...
I'm surprised Tom even came up with the
idea.
idea.
To be fair, it's only 1 year. If they live a full life, they're not gonna care, or even probably remember, or, like, know the difference. Like, what's the difference between, like, 80 and 81? Just die.
Say that to the 81-year-old.
Yeah, don't let my grandpa hear this. How old is he now? What, he just turned 90?
He just turned 90.
Did he make a deal with Mountain Shroud? He's cool.
No, he wants to...
This doesn't apply to him.
Like, you know, you want to see what happens to your family. Like, you want to see your kids get married and have grandkids, and then your grandkids graduate from college, and it's like, but no,
what I'm saying is, you can't control when you die anyway.
Right.
So it's like, they still don't know when they're gonna die. It could be 90. It could be 95 instead of 96. What I'm saying is, they're still living, and they still have the exact same subconscious human fear of, like, it could be fucking tomorrow.
Yeah. Or it's like they were supposed to die in a car crash, and then, like, a year earlier they just kind of dropped dead at the store.
So, this movie won an Emmy Award in 94. Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program, and was also nominated for Outstanding Animated Program. I mean, the writing, like, you know, there was some sweet poetry.
It's Radbury.
You know, it's like fucking...
It's Ray Brad.
You know, it was, like, that's why I feel like the book might be more enjoyable, because it's just like all these warmy nostalgia feelings about fall and Halloween. Like, yeah. I like the line about how it's like the best time of the year.
I want to read a whole fucking page of how satisfying it is to crunch a leaf on the ground, and I just want to get rock hard.
Yeah, pretty much about, like, it's the best time of the year, better than birthday, better than Christmas even, and it's like, hell yeah, it's better than Christmas. Fuck Christmas. Halloween's the best. Don't follow
Halloween's the only one that stays equally as fun and possibly even more fun as you become an adult.
Yeah, you never get to stop celebrating Halloween. It's great.
Yeah, like, Christmas becomes more of a hassle. It's still fun. It can still be fun, but it's a hassle.
Christmas stops being fun when you're in that awkward year of, like, do I still let my mom buy my presents for my family? I don't have any money. Like, I don't have any money, but I'm old enough where I think I'm supposed to.
Like, Christmas turns into an obligation.
Yeah, and Easter is just not a thing unless you have kids.
Here's some soap, Auntie.
Like, if you have kids, maybe Easter's kind of fun. If you're not a kid and you don't have kids, Easter's just like, I guess, ham's on sale at the store.
I bought this big chocolate bunny, and I'm about to hate myself.
If I eat this,
oh God, it's not hollow.
It's not hollow. I have to eat this whole thing because, like,
It's not hollow like I feel.
Or like how I will be after I shit this out.
Oh God. And you have to eat in one sitting, because if you just let it sit there, all your mouth bacteria will just sit on the chocolate in the pantry and
I gotta find some kids to help me eat this bunny. Jail.
So yeah, it's a sweet story. The character designs were kind of interesting. Everybody was very lanky and had very long fingers.
Yeah, it was very like it was a good atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, especially Mountain Shroud's house and whatnot. It was good. It was good autumn Halloween goodness.
You know, like there's so much like wind and wispy and magic-y shit.
And if you watch it and you don't like it so much, it'll just make you want to watch Over the Garden Wall that much more.
Or read the book, which I wanted. My school library, unfortunately, does not have it.
Weird. I figured by this point you could just get any book for free.
Yeah.
It's weird because we have a whole children's section, and, you know, we obviously have Ray Bradbury, so I don't know why we don't have it, especially since it has those really neat illustrations. You'd think it would be a good resource for an art school. I don't know. But I'd like to track it down and maybe give it a read. Sounds like it would be nice.
See, this is why we need a P.O. box.
Yeah.
Send me... Oh, dude, a friggin' P.O. box for people to send me books? Don't give me that power.
Where am I gonna put all these books?
I don't know. I still haven't put away my comics. They're just sitting up there because I'm afraid to go over to my shelf and put them on.
I know, I don't...
Just tile your floor with books. As long as they fit together flush, you'll be fine.
But yeah, like, if you want something kind of, like, nostalgic, like, very nostalgic, even if you've never seen it before, it's just like dripping with nostalgia. Partly because it is about like looking back from a child's point of view of how wonderful Halloween is, and also like the production values.
Yeah, it's a very old-looking movie. When you said 95, I'm like, wow, I would have figured 85.
Yeah, well, it's a 93. Even for 93, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean,
Maybe...
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera was sort of the king of budget animation.
And
Yeah,
that's just
how
for
they
TV.
made
Yeah, that's always been their
Yeah.
thing. That's actually what's the most extraordinary about Hanna-Barbera is how they managed to make stuff that was decent for like $8.
Yeah.
Like if you research some of their techniques, it's actually really fascinating.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that in my animation history class. I'm super excited. We're not there yet.
Woo!
We're still we're still in just starting to get into color.
So yeah, Halloween Tree. It's spooktacular time. It's factual. Fun.
Also good.
Yes.
Also good if you have a heart and miss Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, absolutely. As for Leonard Nimoy in general, for Leonard Nimoy fans, it's a must see for his great vocal performance.
Yeah, and if you know Ray Bradbury fans of English, the English language, like
Leonard Nimoy is having a good time in the booth.
Yeah, it's overall pretty fun. If you do watch it with kids, just tell them that like
This Egypt shit is made up.
so much of this shit's not real. I mean, I get his intention. It was a very noble intention, but like, there's only so much you can get into detail about and still be kid friendly.
I mean, and to be fair, like even if he did his research, like how much, like I'm sure, like how many like easy to find like history books to use for research could have cared enough to get any kind of facts right.
Yeah.
Like half of the articles pertaining to like ancient history now is just like, we thought it was this, but it turns out that like a lot of historians back then were just kind of making wild assumptions based on whatever the fuck they thought made sense.
Based on the one guy they met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found this skeleton in the ground. Let's make wild assumptions about its entire culture.
Or rather, this guy I talked to at a bar found a skeleton in the ground, but I'm not sure when because he's never left this bar.
I'd like to read the chapter about the ancient Greeks and then the ancient Romans. That would be kind of fun, I guess. A child version of those things. I wonder what the corresponding costume is, though. I don't know. I have to read the book.